Hi there, Stuart from the MX-5 Club here at the Bend Motorsport Park, just being released from the pit lane on our 25-minute session of the Bend Motorsport Park GT circuit. And the GT circuit is an awesome circuit. I can thoroughly recommend, if you ever get the chance to drive it, and they certainly don't open it much for club level participants. I've been watching their website for a couple of years, and this is the first GT circuit track day, so I seized the opportunity. So we're here. We gridded up in pit lane, but there is a dummy grid to the left of where we just started the video, which is used sometimes, but on this day we're using the pit lane just to grid up, and released from there. You can see a witch's hat there. So we're coming up the hill now through turns 7 and 8, and just past 8 you'll see where the international circuit goes to the right, but we're staying straight ahead and up to a hairpin bend to get onto the GT circuit. So the GT circuit adds about an extra 17 extra corners. So with 35 corners, when you're new to the track, it can be quite intimidating to remember where on the track you are. Some corners you think, you get mistaken and think that it is elsewhere. That corner we just went through, which is about turn 15 and 14 and 15, is similar to turn 11 and 12 on the international circuit. But we won't do those corners today. That's the part of the international circuit that we don't do. But here, very blind corner there, you just cannot see where the road's going, and you need to effectively know the track to have the confidence, because you need to brake before you can actually see the corner to knock off some speed, but I'll show you that on the next lap. So we're coming around. This is the back straight, and this is a pit area on our left, which is a pit area for the East Circuit. So the East Circuit just does the tight windy part, equivalent of, let's say, the South Circuit at Eastern Creek. The West Circuit, effectively the equivalent of the North Circuit, and we're currently on the long equivalent of the Long Circuit, and the International Circuit would be the equivalent of Motorsport Park, would be the Grand Prix Circuit. But the number of corners here compared to Eastern Creek is awesome. I think it leaves Eastern Creek for dead. So still on the warm-up lap, just getting familiar. So I'm back onto part of the track that is the international circuit, and that road on the right is where the West Circuit comes back on. So coming up, we only got a few corners to go before we get onto the main straight to finish the warm-up lap, and you can see that it's taken about 4 minutes. Over 4 minutes, and on my best lap of the day I got down to a 4 minutes and 1 second. So it's very formidable but very rewarding. Can thoroughly recommend it. So we're turning onto the main straight, so I'll give you a commentary of the first flying lap. Accelerating up through the gears up to 4th gear and accelerating hard, going up under the start-finish line. You can see the lights are green on the left-hand side there, just giving us the all clear. And there's plenty of lights. The track is controlled by just one guy in the control tower and 2 guys on fire duty around the track. So 3 guys controlling about 7 kilometers of track, and that's because there's CCTV cameras on viewing every part of the track, and in the control room they have a panel of 18 or 20 cameras so that they can view all parts of the track at the one time. So that was the West Circuit going straight ahead. We're now turning, this is turn 5. I'll do the commentary. That actually was turn 6. We're going through turn 7 and 8. And here's where we'll go straight ahead for the GT circuit, not sweeping right to the international circuit. So it's a totally different line through 8 compared to the international circuit. The international circuit we run wide to the left to try and open up turn 9 of the international circuit as much as possible. Here we wanted to line up for the hairpin bend. Going down around the back part of the tracks, turn 12, 13, and this is great here. You can take this flat out, come up here, and a lot of people are intimidated by that and stay to the right hand side of the track back there, but if you let the car run wide on the approach to the tighter corner, it means you don't have to lift off. A series of left and right chicanes, I'll call them. Now this is a very blind corner that I talked about, and you have to brake early because you can only see the ripple strip on the left hand side once you've braked and turned. So down the back straight, braking hard for this hairpin bend back to about 60 k's. So accelerating a bit here, trying to accelerate but stuffing up the exit a bit there. Running down the back straight, building up a bit of speed, backing off a bit, throw it back a gear. See the green light there? So these sweeping corners, here's where I talked about before, but now knock off some speed here because this corner really tightens up. And if you leave it too wide, then you stuff up the entrance to this corner, which is then you start building up speed, and you can see I was a bit over ambitious there, but very forgiving track. And here's where we go on to the international circuit. But on the international circuit we would be all the way to the left hand side, but we come out on the right, so we have to make our way over, ready for this blind crest, just knowing we've got the corner set up, over the ripple strips, then back on to where the West Circuit comes on, tightening up, knocking off a lot of speed for this double left-hander. Okay, through here now, accelerating again, up through here. You can then see the track ahead, going down to about the 70 metre mark to brake hard for the hairpin. Braking hard, back to second, 60 k's, building up speed on the exit. So up to third, building up speed, lift off a bit, and then accelerate through the corner. Up to fourth gear and starting a new lap. So just down the main straight here, be careful of if there's any cars entering the track here, because the pit entry lane, or pit exit lane, sorry, runs out very quickly, so you'll have to move over if there's cars, over to the right if there's cars coming on. Back down to third gear, coming up, leading up to this corner, roughly middle of the track for me. Some people go well to the left there. Letting the car run wide here, down to past where the access roads come on, through the reverse hay shed, building up speed, accelerating up, looking for about the 75 to 60 metre mark, braking hard, turning in, but turning in too early on this occasion. It's a very hard corner to fight the temptation of leaving your braking till later in the turn in. Otherwise, being a hairpin bend, it just stuffs up the exit. Coming down here, international circuit going right, up hard, braking for another hairpin bend. And this one just keeps going and going and going. And a blind crest here, you have to know it's going right. Absolutely blind there, and you just have to know the track, otherwise very intimidating. Here's where I talked about letting it run really wide, and wide again, over to the ripple strip to turn in, because this is tighter, and if you're over on the right hand side of the track, it just tightens that corner too much. So you can maintain a lot of speed, knock off speed here, and knock off more speed here. This is coming up to the chicanes, I'll call them. Nice little set of flowing corners, and then you need to knock off speed here a bit, but be careful for the blind crest and the left turn here. You see, you can only see the ripple strip once you've straightened up. Down the back straight, building up speed, looking for a braking point, turning in back to about 60k. So, this is about the third or fourth hairpin corner so far on the track. Going down past the East Circuit pit lane, going into this corner, keeping in mind the corner that tightens up later on. So we're maintaining speed here, but knocking off speed on our entry here, and hopefully I don't end up on the grass as I did last time. Turning in here, and that's much better, but still letting it run wide. Up to here now, the East Circuit goes straight ahead here, but we're turning to meet up with the International Circuit. We're now on to the International Circuit part. Coming up, we're going here, and you see a few spots of rain, but no surface moisture on the track, so I was not intimidated by it. The West Circuit just came on at the right there. Going through these two corners, and you can see all the pit facility there, so we know we're close to the end of the track. So going through this corner 33, so only 2 more corners to go. Again, 35 corners on this track, absolutely awesome. Put it into perspective, Eastern Creek long circuit is about 18 corners, so twice as many corners as Eastern Creek long circuit. Going up here, just taking it a bit easier just in case it's a bit greasy, accelerating up through the gears, across the start finish line again, and you see the pit facility there on the right, the spectator facility. There goes an Evo, one of the fast in a straight line, slow, braking hard for turn 1, turning in, keeping the car to the right to straighten up turn 2, leave the car about centre of the track. And you'll see here with the Evo that I just, by staying middle to right, I was able to gain track placement on him. He let me go. Turn 4, through the reverse hay shed, coming down, and to turn 5, looking for about the 65-70 metre mark. Brake, turning in a bit early. Should have apexed later, but on the next couple of days as I got to know the track. Turn 7, this is great, just building up speed here. Turn 8, and down here we're going straight ahead instead of to the right at International, braking hard for another hairpin corner, going over, double apex there if you like, or 3 lots of ripple strip, and here turning right. Before you even see the ripple strip on the right, you have to be prepared for it. And we're going these flowing corners, that's about turn 13 I think. 14 we're coming up to, and this is the one you take a flat out in my standard NB8A, and up, braking hard, knocking off a lot of speed there, and knocking off a bit more here, coming up to the chicanes, and just building up a bit of speed, maintaining speed, that's okay, knocking off for this last one, and then coming around here, and this is the blind crest, looking for the turn and ripple strip on the left to line ourselves up for the back straight. Going down the back straight, 100 metre mark, braking hard, hairpin bend again. Still just only a few spots of rain, no surface moisture, so still confident that the R-Spec tyres I'm running will be gripping well. The series of right-handers that the last one can catch you out, so going down here at I'm now knocking off some speed, knocking off 20 or 30 k's. And a hard one to judge, that one, and I was still not confident there. Only had 4 runs there, but with 35 corners it's hard to learn all the corners at the one time, so I certainly concentrated on certain corners where if I get a good line out of it, it then had a great effect on my speed down the straights. So by taking a corner a bit slower where there's another corner straight after, I didn't lose much time. And you can see here the Porsches, but here the GT3, 4, whatever it is, almost went ahead onto the grass in their enthusiasm to try and get past a lowly little MX-5. But yes, tried to poke my head back in front of him, but bit of fun, but yes. Okay, so coming up to the last corner again, and I've got distracted with the Porsches going past. I'll give you a bit more commentary on the next lap. So onto the main straight, accelerating up through the gears, watching for the traffic exiting pit lane, none on this occasion, so I can maintain a position left of the track here. Coming up, looking for about my 120 metre mark, braking hard. A lot of runoff straight ahead there. Yep, a bit too fast through that corner and a bit unsettled. Lining up for here. There is a lot of runoff at the end of the main straight there, and it is tarmac runoff, which is great. So you're not on grass and sliding at 100 miles an hour. So if you do misjudge it, you've got plenty of grip to stop the car. Through turn 5, reverse hayshed up to turn 6, hairpin, turning in too early again. Recommend you stay out later. Turning in, accelerating up through 7, and going through turn 8 and ready to go straight ahead for the GT circuit, and braking hard for this hairpin bend. Turning, and it just keeps turning. Now going up and cresting blind, where it goes, there it goes. To the right, looking for the ripple strip, turning, immediately I see it. Building up speed, short shifting there, so that I'm not changing through these sweeping corners. Staying left here, you can see an MGB, just staying right, so I've just gone. Plenty of space here. The track is so wide at all parts of the track that there's plenty of spaces just to go past people on corners. Knocking off speed here for turn 16 and 17. Now coming up to the 18, 19 and 20, the chicanes. Slowing down at the last one because the other ones lower you into a false sense of security. Lining up this corner. This is the blind crest, looking for the ripple strip on the left. And you'll see that I went to centre of the track there. I didn't stay right. Before I could see the ripple strip, I knew I had to go over. Braking hard for turn 23, which leads straight on to turn 24, onto the back straight, or the pit straight of the East Circuit. So going up to turn 25, and turn 25 is effectively a double apex corner. That's 25. Coming up to 26, and 27 is the one that just tightens, and it looks fine, and then suddenly no, it's tighter. 29. Sorry, that was 28. We're going up to 29, where the East Circuit goes straight ahead. We're now turning on to the International Circuit, but we're ending up track right, have to make our way over, checking there's no cars behind me. Coming up, knock off a bit of speed, blind crest for this corner 30, looking for the ripple strip, accelerate hard, going up to about the 50 metre mark for me, but take this with a bit of caution to start with. Make this into these two corners, 31 and 32, into, if you can, just one sweeping left-hand corner, accelerating hard downhill through 35, coming up 33 up to 34, braking hard, turning into this, effectively a hairpin bend, but you can see the speed of it, and you see the speed variations on this track are amazing. There's the 35 corners, coming onto the main straight again. The speeds, we're getting up to 160 to 170 odd k's on several parts of the track, yet there's 3 or 4 places where you're down at 60 to 70 k's. So big variation in speed. If you go to the website and have a look at some of the reviews of this track by people like Mark Webber, Jamie Whincup, serious car drivers, they have nothing but glowing terms about this track. I personally love Mount Panorama, but it's a bit of a toss-up for me. Mount Panorama, I forget how many corners, it's only about 20 corners, but it has a mystique and is very intimidating with the concrete barriers. It's an awesome track, but to me, this Bend GT circuit would be, if Mount Panorama is the number 1 track, this would have to be number 2 track in Australia. But I'm quite open to having chats with people about whether they reckon this one's better than Mount Panorama. Mount Panorama, certainly the variation in altitude is just totally awesome. So we're back onto the GT part of the circuit again, these flowing corners down through 12, 13, coming up to 13 there. This is 14 where it tightens, but if you've been out wide, you can keep it flat. Coming up, knocking off speed here, so turning in around here, and then we're lining up the chicanes again, so we're to here, keeping in mind that the last one tightens up, so you need to knock off a bit of speed there, and then you can then just watch this. Now watch for over here, when I get to the crest of the hill, I let the car go centre of the track, ready for that ripple strip, and then let it run wide on the back straight. It's a short back straight, but you can see we're getting up to 130 odd k's before braking. Turning in, lining up the next corner, turn 24 onto the East Circuit pit straight, coming up, and this corner has a bit of a rise, and this one is very hard to see where the track is going, so you find yourself not necessarily running wide. And you saw there the yellow flag, which I believe our session has ended, but I'll keep going at a reasonable pace, a bit slower than normal, but it might give us time to have a look. So slowing down, there's the East Circuit going straight ahead. We're going to just turn here, and the International Circuit we're on now, so we go there, coming up here, just cruising along, and you'll see there's, if you misjudge it, there's tarmac straight ahead there. If you're over ambitious with your braking, you've got plenty of grip to just knock off the speed and stop before you get to the fences. Going through this corner, going the double pit, but you can see the lights around the track. You can see them at all points. There's flashing yellows down the bottom here, and coming up to the second last corner, turning in, just coasting back to the pits, and you can see there the flashing. That's actually a red light, very hard to tell on the video camera. Red light, so we're just cruising, and you can see the red lights on the main straight into the pit lane. And that's my stint of several laps on the GT circuit. Hope you enjoyed it. Fantastic track. If you ever get the chance to drive it, jump at the opportunity. It's well and truly worth it, even with 14 hours of travel from Sydney each way. The GT circuit is just so rewarding. International circuit is great as well, but yeah. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. All the best. Bye for now.